Who inspires me? Greg Braden is probably my biggest inspiration. I don't know what we call this field. Some people call it metaphysics. Some people call it esoteric, healing. I don't know. But I would say whatever we call whatever this is, I would say Greg Braden is probably my biggest number one inspiration. I love me some Greg Braden. He is the first and only person I've personally come across who has this real time healing component in all the information and knowledge that he shares. We'll get into later in this season, again, the wizards, charlatans, tricksters, manipulators who really just sell you information, but they really aren't giving you any type of practical way to apply it in your life in real time so you can see the results in real time. Be careful for people who sell you information. Again, I don't want to skip ahead, but we'll get into that. But he doesn't really sell information. He really gives information to heal. Whenever I hear him speak, there's such sincerity. He's so warm. He doesn't waste words. Whenever I listen to him speak, again, he's not inserting some type of agenda or hidden motive into the information that he's giving you. It's not rabbit hole information. Again, it's quite esoteric. And that type of information can go down a rabbit hole really fast, but I've never encountered that with him. He doesn't waste words. He doesn't mix messages. Again, it's just this real-time application of information that is healing, not just informative, but it's healing, and that's really important to me. And I just love his delivery and his presentation style. So Greg Braden's number one. Number two, I would have to say Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu and Dr. Francis Quest Wessling are my number two biggest inspirations. They were the ones for me. They were like my confirmation that for me to have the experience that I'm looking for, I would have to move into academia and psychology. As far as Dr. Frances Cress Wessling, she was the first person, specifically a black woman, to break down race in terms where it made complete and absolute sense. And what I mean by that is, like, there are no environmental problems, there are no political problems, there are no justice system problems, there are no education system problems. Every single problem in the world is a mental health issue, because these systems that we engage or may be a part of are not AI. They don't run themselves. They're ran by people. They're ran by people who are making a certain choice to behave in a way that could be detrimental or beneficial to whoever they're serving. That behavior starts with a thought. It starts in the mind. And for her to break down racism as a mental health issue, not a social justice issue, not a criminal justice issue. No, it's a mental health issue. And for her to dig into it in a way that makes people uncomfortable. Because again, if we really peel back the layers and get in under the skin, what lays behind the eyes and is in the mind of most people is scary if we really start to get frank and upfront about it. So for her to examine racism on that level and in the way that she did, and to dedicate her entire career to the study of race, specifically from a psychological approach, really inspired me to not just look at race, but look at everything in the world through the eye of psychology. And once I did that, again, I started having breakthroughs and learning things and having things revealed to me that completely shared my beliefs in the way that was necessary and helped me reform my beliefs based on my own experiences from within, not from without. So I love Dr. Frances Cress Wessling for her work, and she is missed. Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu, I rarely ever see somebody do something and say, I want to do that. I never usually feel that way about anything or anybody. I'll see it and I'll say, okay, I can see how that could be interesting, or maybe I'll try it, but I'll try it this way. Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu, it was a lecture he had, countering the conspiracy to kill black boys, and I would suggest anybody check out that lecture. It doesn't matter if you're black or if you're male, it does not matter. It's amazing. But again, he reminded me of Greg Braden, where he just had this delivery and this presentation style where I was just enamored. I was damn near mesmerized by it. His delivery was so eloquent, and the information that he was given was so poignant and so important. And I never heard anyone break down, again, not just the social side of race or politics or society, but this nuanced, psychological, emotional way that so many of us just kind of ignore or skip over or aren't even aware that we should delve into. But I think when I saw that, that's what finally said, okay, you need to become an educator. Something about it, again, it gave me chills when I'm watching it. Like, he was just so eloquent from, like I said, he must have rehearsed this a few times, but maybe he didn't. Maybe, again, when you're just that good, it seemed like you rehearsed it, but he didn't. And I watched the lecture and I got chills and I said, that's what I want to do, that right there. Because I knew I wanted to be an educator, but I wasn't sure, like, well, what kind of educator? Because education is so broad. But I knew it. I knew I wanted to be an educator, and it also inspired me to start to play around with other ways to present information, i.e. Earth is a stage. He just did a lecture, and he recorded it in such a way, and then he shared it. So again, I know it'll take a while for me to get all my credentials to become a collegiate educator, but in the meantime, I could still get some practice doing it on my own platform. And again, everything about that lecture he gave, countering the plot to kill black boys, I just said, that's it. That's what I want to do. And he's just a brilliant mind altogether. So Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu and Dr. Frances Cress Wessling. I would say the next person would probably be Leo Buscaglia. Leo Buscaglia is someone they refer to as Dr. Love. I know it sounds corny, but please check him out. Leo Buscaglia. He's the first person and only person that I've come across, could be wrong, but that I've come across that speaks about love not as an emotion, a misunderstood emotion. He doesn't speak about love as an overused or misused word. He speaks about love and teaches about love as a way of being, a state of being, a way of life, a lifestyle. And man, Leo is one of those ones where, again, his delivery is so enthusiastic. Like, you could tell that he truly loves his subject matter. He's just not, again, one of these wizards that is selling information or narratives to you for their own gain. You can tell that he really believes in what he's saying. But the lectures that he's given about love, how to love one another, how to love ourselves, how to give love, receive love, and be loved, the art of being fully human, it moves me to the point where I don't listen to him frequently because he moves me so much. Like, I get moved to tears, like good tears. But again, so many of you all have had bad experiences with love to the point that you don't even entertain love anymore. So many of you don't even really know what love is because it's been taught to you through distortions, through brokenness, through somebody else's hurt. That even when we say love, it's almost just like a myth. People don't even actually believe love is a real thing. But it is, but it's just misunderstood. So that's also something that we're going to touch on throughout the season is love. Love is a frequency, not as a word, but love is a frequency and a way of being, and how love really can heal you. I think love is the only thing that can heal you here. But again, if you don't know what here is, then it can be difficult to build that foundation of love on top of a shaky foundation. So let's establish what here is first, and then we'll dive into love and the frequency of love. Let's see now. These next two are probably going to be really unpopular. That's okay. I don't care. DJ Academics and Candace Owens are actually two really big inspirations, and this is why. When it comes to DJ Academics, I can't say I'm a fan of his. I really don't watch his content or videos too much because it's just not in line with what interests me at all. But you really can't deny that he is a self-made man. He is someone who, again, he was pushed out of an industry, and an industry told him, we don't want you here. There's no space for you. But he said, well, no, I have interest in this industry, and no matter how you feel, I'm going to make a place for myself. So as someone who just built a direct-to-consumer brand and said it's okay if the rappers don't like me, if the labels don't like me, if the media outlets don't like me and don't respect me, I know that there's a group of people out there somewhere that's going to feel what I'm doing. It's going to feel what I'm saying. So let me just take my brand directly to them and just grow it, grow it, and grow it. He is someone, again, whether you like what he says or not, I respect people who say what they feel and stand on their word. So many people in this world have no idea what it means for their word to be bond or to stand on their word or for their words and their behaviors to match. So for someone, again, who's been ostracized and outcast from these popular groups within the industry of entertainment and hip hop, he keeps saying what he feels, what he thinks, and he stands on it. He doubled down. He doesn't back off of what he says he believes in or what he says he stands for. And he did it so well for so many years, he literally became a self-made millionaire. Literally. So again, you don't have to agree with him, but you can't deny what he's been able to build with his brand. Especially when it comes to his conversations about business, entrepreneurship, the industry games. He's not lying, and that's why people can't stand him, because he's telling the truth. But when you haven't been authorized to tell the truth, it makes people really uncomfortable. He does not give a fuck. This is what I said, this is what I mean, this is what I believe in. I stand on my word, and I'm going to double down on it, and it's going to work, and it has been working for years. So much so that now these rappers who once shunned him, this industry that once outcasted him, are now coming to him and paying him to promote on his platform. So just his story alone, I love, and I respect it, and I admire it. Again, do I believe in many of the things that he speaks about and about, just the culture? No, it's not for me. But you cannot deny what he's been able to do in business and entrepreneurship. And you cannot deny that he says something and he sticks to what he said. He doesn't waver because this person is applying pressure or this company said we're not going to work with you. He doesn't give a fuck. And I love it and I respect it. Similar to Candace Owens, again, I'm not a supporter of Candace Owens. And while I may not agree with a majority of the things that she says, because she is a little whitewashed behind the eyes, again, for her to be a black woman in America with such an unpopular opinion, and for her to, again, this is what I said, I meant what I said, and I'm going to double down on what I said. I love it and I respect it, because I know I'm going to reach a point where much of what I'm saying is going to be really, really unpopular. And I am a black woman in America, and I already know there's no space for me. So once I say what I say, I might have to live in my own world, because the world outside really might not want me anymore. But again, for Candace Owens to know, yeah, I'm a black woman and I feel these things, and I know that the people who look like me will not agree with me, will not support me, will not show up. That also resonates with me too, because my alleged people don't show up for me either. It takes a lot of courage and bravery when you are literally in the world by yourself on your own and you stand on your word. I cannot stress enough how much I respect people who stand on their word. Whether or not I agree with their word or not, it doesn't matter, because it's so brave to do it in a world that will in-group you and out-group you based on your word, based on your beliefs. So again, no, I can't quite get into DJ Academics and Candace Owens the way I can get into Greg Braden or Leo Buscaglia, but I can't not respect people who say what they mean what they say, actions and behaviors match, and they aren't wavering, because that's the direction I'm headed in. I know if I'm already an outcast, I'm going to be more of an outcast after this is done. And it just gives some type of confirmation to know that there are other people in the world who are doing this as well. Whether I know them personally or not, it doesn't matter, but they do exist, and that's important to me. Who else inspires me? Oh, I can't forget. I love me some Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. While I don't subscribe to her total ideology of objectivism, but then again, I don't subscribe to anybody's anything, I do, it does resonate, the idea of rational selfishness. I don't really believe in total altruism. I think that's a part of this societal assimilation, cultures of sameness that we'll dive into this season. But I don't believe in this idea of serving others. That sounds so crazy to me. And again, I know where it comes from and we'll dive into it, but it's like, hey, no, I came to earth for me and you guys are here. Like, I didn't come to earth for you guys. I didn't come to earth to serve you. I don't even know who you guys are. I literally do not know who you are to serve you or to be in service to you. Unless you're paying me to be in service to you, I'm not in service to you. I'm in service to myself and my spirit and the all that is. I do believe that you should strive to provide value or increase to anyone that you are sharing or holding a space with. But again, this idea of being in service to, no, I'm not, unless you're paying me. Altruism, when I'm called to help, I'll help, but it'll be help in a way that doesn't hurt me. You don't get to tell me or anyone else how they get to help you. Because again, I didn't come here to be in service to you. But again, it's called rational selfishness. I can definitely subscribe to a type of rational selfishness, but not narcissism, not total selfishness, because we do share space and I do care for you in a general way. I care for any type of being that is conscious on earth. And just again, her speaking her mind at a time for a woman, a Russian-born woman in America, to speak that type of talk. And again, to stand on it, to double down on it. I love to see it. And it actually makes sense. So I love me some Ayn Rand. I really do. And so those are the people who inspired me as far as what Earth of the Stage can be and how to approach it as far as disseminating information and knowledge to you guys. Who else inspires me? I would say the last person I would name would be a young lady named Danielle Bradley. I don't know her personally. I never met her. I hope I meet her one day. I really hope I meet her one day. But I came across her about maybe 2 years ago. And have you ever come across someone's platform or YouTube channel or website and you just get this feeling like, that's my spirit twin? So that's the feeling that she gave me. And I followed her platform. And have you ever come across someone, again, that you don't know, but you feel like when they speak, they're speaking to you? Even if you know they have no idea who you are and they're probably not talking to you, it just felt like at a certain point that she was speaking to me. And I remember she started this, well, she already had a platform, but she started this thing called the Dream Academy. And one of the things that she said, it wasn't even like that deep or profound, but she was speaking about, again, those of us who are not from here, those of us who are just other than. And one thing she said is, what if you just kind of like cast aside the denial from yourself and others, your family, whoever, and what if you just kind of accepted what you believe or think about yourself might actually be true, no matter how outrageous it is, how left field it is, how outlandish it is. What would happen if you just stopped denying all the things that you know about yourself and just accepted that these science fiction type things might actually have some type of merit to them? So just about accepting yourself. And I said, And she said, well, what would you do if you accepted that these things that you think about yourself might actually be real? And I said, well, what would I do? And then Earth is a Stage, I kind of got some confidence to actually engage with Earth is a Stage. And then another thing she said in 2020, which was, what if the world slowed down so you could catch up? And I got chills. Because 2020, I found a lot of increase, a lot of blessings, a lot of stillness, and I was able to develop the concept for Earth as a Stage. So Danielle Bradley, her platform, the Dream Academy, really inspired me on a source player spiritual level to just step out there and do it. And like I said, I think that's my spirit twin. Because source players, aliens, outliers, whatever, we don't identify each other by saying, hey, hi, I'm a source player. It's more telepathic, and we can see each other's light and aura, and I felt like she speaks to me, so hopefully she was, and hopefully we'll meet one day. But shout out. So shout out Danielle Bradley.